Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Under my gacha advice video about characters, a user asked,
And so, if I can have a backstory as some sort of excuse, how can I make a backstory have actual depth?
well, essentially, what you want to remember about backstories is explanations, not excuses, information, not necessarily redemption. To elaborate, first you're going to have to answer this question. Why are we seeing this person's backstory? Is the villain not purely evil after all? Is it time to unravel a morally ambiguous character? Or is the main character finally revealing why they've been insert character flaw for so long? You want to make it deep? Well, as they say, character depth is born from the human psychology involved in every impactful decision a character makes. Quote, me. As people, we can rationalize the reasons behind why even fictional characters do what they do because their circumstances are familiar to us. The juxtaposition between the character in the past and the character we see in the present is enough for the audience to understand that some real shit went down. What's the something that brought them from point A to point B to point C to point D to point wherever you want them to be? Now, honestly, that's up to you. But a backstory reveals what a character internalized from an event or trauma and takes up a lot of space in their heart and mind. Viewers will judge your character depending on if you show them a heart full of hope or a heart full of poison, which leads to whether or not they'll be forgiven or they'll be despised or just a, so that's why. Reasons, people. Make that past so desperately tethered to who they are now as a person, because that really is how it should be. Elsa from Frozen, I use it as an example because she's the first thing I saw, became so cold and self-isolating because she fears she'd hurt people with her magic like she did to Anna when she was a kid. She runs away and refuses to come back even with the eternal winter issue because she's afraid of what might happen if she does come back. To Anna, she may have seemed unreasonable and selfish, but what's important is the audience can see the turbulent emotions and human psychology at work in Elsa's dilemma and how that's supported by her past experiences. It's even worse for her when she ends up freezing Anna's heart again after an outburst, almost self-confirming that she's a danger. It gives her layers, no matter if she's the protagonist or the antagonist. So in wanting to make it deep, I'm guessing you want your characters to feel real, huh? Yeah, I'm as guilty of that as you are too. But in writing these plot beats, you have to distance yourself from your visions of this character's likability and relatability. It's so annoying to see characters suddenly 180ing or having the most basic childhood sub-story because I just know they're being set up for a lame redemption arc. Like, avoid leaning onto the most sympathetic part of their backstory and twisting the narrative just so you can go, I know they've been horrible people, but look at how abused they are. They're good people, believe me, I love them. Redemption! No, this is not a math class. Negative and negative doesn't make a positive here. Protecting your baby from accountability and consequences, giving them an easy way out, is an excuse type backstory. That is what we don't want. It's a plot device. It's too transparent of a trick out of being hated, and the viewers will respond negatively. If a villain doesn't apologize, acknowledge, or make up for their actions, do not try to redeem them to the audience. You're sending a bad message. Characters in the story can still be naive and be fooled, but a tear-jerking monologue is not going to fix being a real asshole to characters unrelated to the trauma. Realistically, the people around the bad person could be too hurt by their actions. They won't accept them no matter how understandable their past is without change. If I get stood up by my date without warning after clearing my schedule, dressing up, and getting all excited, of course I'd be upset. But his reason for not being there and the way he communicates that will largely affect my reaction. For example, oh, I'm so sorry. I was brought to the hospital because I suddenly collapsed in the kitchen. I'm sure I'll make it up to you soon. Well, it's really fine. We can reschedule. Are you okay? Versus, oh shit, that was tonight? Oh, I thought the night was for the other girl I was talking to, but she was way too clingy, so I kind of passed. You still down? No. What the fuck? The way a character chooses to deal with another character or respond to another character in light of the explanation or backstory tells a lot about that character as well. Person A finally leaves Person B after learning they're a horrible person because Person A felt drained and felt toxicity in their connection. Person C stays with Person B despite having a similar experience because Person C has different philosophies on dealing with people like Person B. Or they could also be clinging onto the hope they have in Person B. Person B can't stand Person A for leaving them because their feelings felt invalidated, or B could not be self aware enough to understand what A feels. But Person B can maintain a civil conversation with Person D, who had also left them, because they had communicated why B was being an asshole before they left. So, depth is about the perspective and psychology each character has. Because remember, you're allowed to write a misunderstood character who does some bad things as long as it's reconcilable and not genocidal. But you need to understand that not everything nor everyone will be okay with a character simply because they have an explanation. If a character wants to leave them, that's okay. And if they want to fix things, that's okay too. If your character had been a victim in the past, then show them struggling with the effects the trauma or event had on their life and their psyche. Show how they heal, find acceptance, get closure from the past, and develop healthy coping mechanisms. These people aren't immune to relapses and negative trauma responses, though. And inversely, if your goal is to turn a character depressed and into kind of an asshole, make them reject reality, reject advice, reject help, reject positive growth, reject happiness. With conflict, there is potential to start a character arc, a path of self-realization, or a path of self-destruction. Note that the way the people around the character respond will play a huge role in their growth as well. Make them do stuff, not just say stuff. They've got to change themselves in present day and mold new beliefs based on the reflection of their past. And stop using sad flashbacks for everything backstory related, Jesus Christ. So that's all I got for now. Leave your thoughts or questions below so y'all can go discuss. Usually, I milk my brain for as much input as I can, but I figured it doesn't really help with the burnout and leave for several months problem. I kinda wanted to try a new format that's more lax on the creation and editing process so I can get just a bit more active and put out some more content for you guys. No promises as always, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Unfinished projects may or may not see the light of day, and I apologize for being very messy with that. But that's all I really have to say. Thanks for 4,000 subscribers. I love all of you. I miss all of you. And until the year 2073, goodbye!